Hey everyone, it's Hadar. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we will continue to pass on the mic and feature different teachers and different voices on my channel. Today I have the pleasure of introducing you to Rodrigo from English Black Friday. Let's check out his awesome video.
What's up guys? How are you today? I hope you guys are doing fine. This is your teacher, Rodrigo from EBF Academy by English Black Friday. Well, today I have been invited by my fellow teacher, Hadar to talk about a very interesting aspect of the English language. Well, it is known that every language has been affected by other languages. Well, with the English language, that was not different. So, if we study the history of the English language, we can see that it has been affected by so many other languages. For example, the Anglo-Saxon language, the Germanic language, the French language, the Greek language, but also it has been affected by the Latin language. Well, even though we know that the English language has been affected by Latin, let's talk about history here. Well, we know that the Roman Empire was the biggest empire in the world. Actually, that was the biggest empire the world has ever seen. And they have a very interesting aspect. They have an official language. And this language was Latin. Well, when the Romans were expanding the territory, they arrived in a place that we call the Great Britain today. And you know what they did? They tried to impose their language. And because that was the official language of the Roman Empire, that language was official and it was used for religion, law, and science, which are very formal realms of that language or realms of this society. Which means that until today, whenever we look at this modern vocabulary of the English language, we can still see the Latin influence in religion, law, and science. But maybe you're asking this question, what does that have to do with our modern language today? It is because until today, we can use that Latin vocabulary in our most formal context of the language. Well, but a lot of people talk about this beautiful phrasal verb. Well, phrasal verb is an everyday language thing. If you talk to native speakers and non-native speakers, they always use phrasal verbs. And by phrasal verbs, I mean a verb that is connected with a particle, and this particle is very important because it changes the meaning of the main verb. Well, but sometimes we're faced with more formal conversation and we need to transform those phrasal verbs into a more formal vocabulary. Well, the point I'm trying to get across with is that it's not wrong for you to use phrasal verbs. But if you want to sound more formal, maybe you want to write something for the academy, and then that's when you have to use this more formal vocabulary. And today, we're going to learn how to transform these phrasal verbs into Latin vocabulary to sound more formal. Okay, so hold on a second. So you're telling me that English has been influenced by the Latin language, and if I use the Latin vocabulary, I might sound more formal. So I can also transform the phrasal verbs into Latin vocabulary to sound more formal. But I've also heard that many other languages around the world have been influenced by the Latin language. And also, some languages are very much based on the Latin vocabulary. These languages are called the Romantic languages. And these languages are French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, which happens to be my native language, and Romanian. Oh, okay, so let me understand this. So you're telling me that the words that we're going to talk about, which are the Latin vocabulary words, they're used in law, science, and religion. They're considered to be formal. They are similar to the words that we use in those languages. They're called Romantic languages, like Spanish, Portuguese, Romanian, French, and Italian. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Well, so let me prove my point. We're going to talk about this English verb, omit. Well, in Spanish, this is how you say omit.
Omitir.
Omitir. Well, in Romanian, this is how you say omit.
Omite.
Omite. Okay, but does that happen with Italian too? Let's check Italian now.
Omettere.
Omettere. Okay, well, I'm sure that in French, that will be different. Let's hear that in French.
Omit.
Omettre. Okay, but in Portuguese, which happens to be my native language, I don't even need this thing here. It's omitir. But we can hear that. Check it out. In Portuguese,
Omit.
oh, that's in English. But in Portuguese, it's
Omitir.
omitir. Well, so as you could notice, the Romantic languages are very similar when it comes to spelling, meaning, and pronunciation. Well, the difference between the Romantic languages and the English language is that in the Romantic languages, this is just considered to be everyday vocabulary. Everybody would use the verb omit without any problem. But in English, that is considered to be a formal vocabulary. So that's our time now to compare the everyday phrasal verbs in English with the Latin formal vocabulary. Are you guys ready for that? All right, so let's play a game. I'm going to say the phrasal verb, and you have to say the Latin vocabulary for that. So let's get started. Leave out. Yes, omit. The one we had just talked about. Lock up. In prison. Speed up. Accelerate. What about this one here? Send back. Return. This one here is very tricky. Work out. Calculate. Okay, so this one now is a very common phrasal verb, which is find out. And that in Latin vocabulary should be discover. So turn down is reject. And when you set off, you depart. You know that one time when you walk around and you run into a person, you encounter that person. Okay, I have something to own up to you. That means that I have something to confess to you. I don't know exactly what I'm going to tell my mom, so I will have to make up a story, to invent a story. I wish I could carry on talking about this topic, but unfortunately, I have to go right now. I cannot continue talking about this topic. All right, y'all, so this is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did. That was very nice creating this content and putting all these words together for you to learn, for you to improve your English, and for you to interact with me here through this beautiful channel. Hadar Shemesh, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here in your channel. If you want to check my work, guys, you can go to Instagram, which is at EBF Academy, or you can follow my YouTube channel, which is English Black Friday. So thank you guys very much. As we say in Portuguese, obrigado and tchau.